Welcome to the Patrick Real Estate Show, where we explore the fascinating world of real estate investing with your host, Patrick Switek. Patrick is a dynamic young entrepreneur and an accomplished real estate investor who's passionate about helping others achieve financial freedom. Each week, we sit down with some of the most inspiring individuals in the real estate industry and delve into their personal journeys, lessons learned, and secrets to their success. Let's dive into this week's episode.
Hey, Jeff, welcome to the podcast, Patrick Real Estate Show.
Thank you. Excited to be here.
Yeah, Jeff is the owner of HostGPO, which is a group ordering software for vacation rentals. And we're going to go more into that later in the podcast, but he's done real estate pretty much his whole life. He grew up in a real estate family and it just happened to be in his blood, and he's just been doing it since. And he's also a lawyer, or used to be a lawyer. And so he's got that side to him. He's got like the perfect trifecta of everything. So I'm really excited just to dive in and go more deep with who's Jeff and how Jeff came about and all the things around HostGPO.
Yeah. Let's get into it. To be clear, still a lawyer, just not a practicing lawyer. But yeah, I didn't lose my license or anything. I just don't practice anymore. But that's funny.
I didn't even know the terminology, so don't. But cool, man. Yeah. So, what was your story like? Like, how did you get started?
Yeah, in the vacation rental industry, I was practicing law, and I remember it was like 2014, and I read an article about lease arbitrage. It was the first time I'd ever heard about it, and I thought it was a really cool idea. And I started by leasing the house across the street from where I was living, furnished it, and rented it as a vacation rental. And that was the beginning of what turned into a 50-unit company, 100-unit company, and then eventually when we were at our biggest, we were 150 properties. We did a combo of property management and lease arbitrage work, and we did luxury homes, we did apartment buildings, you name it. So that company was really my baby for about 6-7 years, and started HostGPO at the end of that to try to help other people who needed to buy furniture and linens and supplies to be able to get discounts, and also candidly to help myself get better discounts on my own properties too.
That's awesome. And so for the people that don't know, how does group ordering work?
Yeah, so group ordering or buying group. So HostGPO, that GPO part stands for Group Purchasing Organization. And this actually exists in pretty much every major industry. So from pharmaceuticals to restaurants, right? They all buy through buying groups, because just if you're setting up a vacation rental unit, it's hard to figure out every single thing to buy, where to get it from, or to be able to access any sort of deal or discount. And group buying or group purchasing organizations essentially aggregate everybody together and then pool all of our collective buying power and negotiate with vendors to make sure that we as a group are getting the best kind of pricing. It's like what you might think like a does, right? You pay a Costco membership fee, and then when you go into a Costco, because you're a part of this giant group, you're buying not just bulk items, it can be regular sized items, but you're buying them at discounted pricing because you're buying it in a store that sells volume. It's the same kind of thing. Group buying, it's not like you have to buy 500 couches. You can buy one couch, but you're buying as a part of a group, which is how you're able to get these discounts.
That's genius. And when you first came to me on that, I actually heard you on, and I was telling you earlier before the show, I heard you on Avery Carl's podcast, and we've been friends since, and you guys have been doing, I've been a user since then.
Yeah.
It's been awesome. It's been well over a year now, and HostGPO has saved me thousands and thousands of dollars. Not to say that this is an advertisement for HostGPO. I just think it's just such a great, easy thing, especially because if you're just starting out, you think it's unaffordable, but it's like, what, you might have changed the prices. What is it for like a couple?
It's up to 10 units is $120 a year total for all the units.
So $10 a month.
$10 a month. Yeah.
You order one thing and it's like, it pays itself back. So I really do think it's one of those things where it's like a no-brainer. I probably should get like an affiliate or something at this point.
But you should have a referral code. Drop your referral code link below.
Yeah, referral link below, whatever. If you just say STR Nation or Patrick, then Jeff will know.
We'll know too, yeah, when you sign up.
That's cool. But regardless, I really love what it is. And I wanted to ask you about the group ordering in general.
Yeah.
So when you do these, how many people do you need to really get like the bulk discounts?
Yeah, they get better over time. So the bigger the groups get, the discounts increase. So for example, our discount with Society 6 for art just increased again.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So we just unlocked like the next of a discount there. And we're very big now. We've had over 200,000 units sign up for HostGPO.
Wow.
So between the US and Canada, that's how we're able to unlock a lot of the pricing that we get and also make partnerships with brands that we otherwise couldn't. We just made a partnership with Google Nest. So now all Nest products are sold through HostGPO at a discount. Yeah. And as the group gets bigger, discounts are getting bigger and the ability for us to partner with new folks is also increasing, which is cool.
Yeah, awesome. So who do you guys have so far? I know we can't discuss for some of these, we can't discuss the percentage, but let's talk about the partnerships. They're heavy discounts.
Very heavy discounts.
All I'm just going to say is that this might be jumping ahead a little bit, but there's a design program with HostGPO and West Elm that we used. And we could go into that more in detail later, but what they did was the guy that worked at the store that was helping us design the place told me that our discounts at the time, and now it increased with the collection.
It did increase.
At the time, it was as much as he was getting, and as an employee. And so he's never heard of anybody else having that. Now it's more than him, and he's an employee, which is insane. But yeah, it's crazy to think that's how it works, but that's how it works.
But you know what? Look, ultimately, we're businesses that are operating and we should be treated like a business that's buying for business purposes and not really a user that's buying for like a in-home use. And so because of that, you should be able to be treated like a business.
I agree. And so curious with the buying, like who are some of the partners?
Yeah, I know you just mentioned West Elm. That's a big one for us. And we already had this amazing kind of discount with them that was better than their normal trade interior design program discount. But we just launched a new collection with them. That's the HostGPO and West Elm collaboration. And it's a selection, I think it's like 30 or 40 items, couches and dining tables and dining chairs and coffee tables.
Nice stuff.
Yeah, nice stuff. And like your entry level stuff from West Elm that is offered at an additional, I guess I can say an additional 10% off over our old discount, which was already really high. And so all of a sudden you're able to buy a dining table from West Elm, which is much nicer than your local IKEA store or anything like that. And they're about the same price. And they're like $700 to $800 for a dining table. And you can pay for flat rate delivery and installation. And West Elm is a great partner. That's one. As far as furniture goes, we also have the best discount with Article. It's the same thing. It's like an unheard of discount that nobody else has. And then
I just used the Article one, or my business partner did, for his new unit, and
it's great.
It was insane.
Yeah, I mean, that one's really cool because it's like a discount on top of everything that's on their site. Even if you buy like a bundle or something that's on sale already, it's just like an extra discount that gets added on top of that, which is really cool, especially holiday shopping and stuff like that. Like all of our pricing is always better than anything else you'll find on Black Friday or anything, but this is like an even extra bonus one. So the Article one's really cool too.
Wow.
And their shipping timelines are really short. So if you are on a quick turnaround and you want to set your unit up in 1 or 2 weeks, like Article is really good about getting that stuff there immediately if that's something that's really important to you. So cool. West Elm, Article, Crate and Barrel, CB2. And then we also partner with brands like Standard Textile. That's like really big one for HostGPO members. They're like hospitality grade linens. So it's like the normal sheets that you might buy on like an Amazon or from like a Target, right? Those things are made to be washed however often you your regular sheets in your home, right? But vacation rental sheets get washed like every 2 days and they go through a lot heavier use. And Standard Textile is the largest hotel linen company in the US. She sells like Marriott and Hyatt and Hilton. So we partner with them so that you can get access to those products at, I think it's like very significant discounted pricing. And we try to make it easy where you can just say, if you want to, you can buy a box of 24 towels, or if you want to, you can buy 2 towels, or if you want to, you can say, hey, I've got a three queens and 2 king beds, recommend me the package, and press go. And we'll get you set up with a bed box where you can just click an entire box worth of linens, towels, pillows, whatever else you want, and edit it before you order it. So that's another big one, like linens, Brooklinen for your name brand. I don't know. There's a lot of them.
I'll be transparent. I actually used, I know you shouldn't technically, but I definitely used the Brooklinen one for myself. I was like, this is so soft. For one of my units, I was like, oh, this is amazing. I'm just going to grab myself one of these comforter for my place. And I still use it to this day. It's amazing.
Look, Patrick, do you ever have guests over at your house?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
do.
right. People. All right.
There we go. There we go.
I'm not sanctioning this. I didn't say this was okay to do, but
Yeah, within
look, you got to
reason,
try
right?
out. You got to try out the product sometimes too. See if you want it for
100%.
you. So I get it.
And a lot of these, look, I think we should go through these like products and ordering and the philosophy. Look, I'm a very logical person, and when I go into a decision, I want to know, because Jeff, you and I talked off off recording about like, I just bought a property management company, and we were talking about how we can use that for the property management company, how to save money. And so we did a comparison between Amazon, right? Amazon has like towels, right?
Sure.
I looked at the price of the Amazon towels and the price of the standard textile towels, and it was more or less the same.
Yeah. And
Now,
the quality is totally different.
Exactly that. So like for the same price, you're getting way better quality, and you're getting that hospitality grade quality, and it's going to last longer. It's going to cost you less money over time. So for me, that's like a almost no brainer there when you said that. And then the Helix mattress aspect was huge too. Right.
Yeah.
I didn't like Helix mattress. I usually get the Zinus from Amazon. Then now Helix is a better quality than Zinus. And so I'm leaning towards that now because it's even cheaper than the Zinus, which is crazy because it's normally like $1,200, so it's crazy. But from that perspective, that's when I started really thinking about it. Public goods is another one that you guys have that we're a property management company. So we have to hold these products and we have to refill these products for our clients. Yeah. And so having that public goods account is like huge because now we're ordering a bunch of stuff. Now that I'll be honest, fully transparent, I did go to Jeff and I did say, Minone isn't it the same thing? What's the difference? And we actually hopped on a call. We talked about it. Jeff was really open to share the difference. And look, we're not trying to talk smack about anybody. It's just a different model. Can you maybe tell us a little bit about Minone and how you guys are different from Minone? Because I know a lot of people bring that up.
Yeah, look, there are a couple other companies that do some similar stuff to us, some different stuff to us. But one way to think about it is we curate the brands that we partner with, and we partner with slightly different brands. There's some crossover brands like Standard Textile, or our partnership with Rugs USA, or Helix, the hospitality mattress, or Ace Hardware is a company that we partner with where it's like you can go into your local Ace. These partnerships are exclusive to HostGPO, as are most of our partnerships. And they really are meant to narrow down the field so you don't have to choose between 500 different brands and really be able to focus on like, hey, these are the ones that we recommend. And then on top of that, where some of the other companies out there might offer your basic discounts, right? If you logged on a website for the first time, they ask you for your email and you like put in your email and they say, okay, 15% off your first order. I think a lot of the other companies out there are really offering those as the discounts. Whereas HostGPO discounts compared to Minone or another company out there, we're always the best. There's never better discounts on any other site than HostGPO. And we're often 10 to 20% better on any brand that's the same. We're never worse, often better. And we partner with a more curated group of brands, including a lot of exclusive that are just available on HostGPO. So those are the main differences. We also allow you to order instantly and directly. So for example, you were just mentioning public goods.
I think that's the big thing, by the way, because I was using Minone and I love Minone for certain things. Like you guys don't have certain partnerships that they do, like Crossley, for instance. I've ordered from them. But when it comes to something that it's just, I agree. After using it, like the public goods, it's just so much easier to order that through you guys and all these other brands.
That's the whole thing, right? You're not ordering it through us. You're ordering it through public goods. And so we're not in the middle of anything. Like we're just letting you order from these brands at more advanced discounts, even if that brand is being offered on both sites for whatever reason. And then the interesting thing is that a lot of these smaller brands like the Crosleys or the Fellows or whatever, those are actually available on West Elm's site or on Williams-Sonoma's site or on Crate and Barrel CB2's site. And so you can already get arguably better discounts on most of those products just by buying them through like the West Elm site. Separately from that, we're not really so interested in like how to save you 10 cents on cookies to leave for the guest or like on a teapot, like necessarily, so much as we're really focused on giving you the most discounts in the easiest ordering possible. And from a curated group of brands that we think make a lot of sense for vacation rentals.
Yeah, for sure. So let's talk about these brands and how do you guys specifically cater which brands? Like, how do you decide this is the brand I want to work with, or this is the brand I don't, that kind of thing?
Yeah, I think that the first place we go to find new brands is our membership. And we look at the tens of thousands of HostGPO members and we ask, or people often recommend, they're like, hey, we're really interested in this product. So one of those was like Solo Stoves, which is another like exclusive HostGPO partner, right? And it was like, everybody was like, hey, look, we really want Solo Stoves. And we often ask why and try to get to the bottom of it. And the reason why they wanted Solo Stove was because you can use it in the Pacific Northwest, in Texas. It's like less of a fire hazard, and it's a permitted smokeless fire pit that you can even put on like a wood deck, I think is how they advertise it, right? So like that was a vacation rental specific product that we were like, okay, we want to bring this onto our market. So usually the recommendations are coming from our vendors. And then other than that, our criteria is that you have to be the best product. So we're about to announce, it's not live yet, and I can't say who it is, but we're about to announce a partnership for things like paper goods, cleaning supplies, janitorial supplies, that kind of stuff. That is, and again, HostGPO only partners with companies when the pricing or the quality of what we're getting is better than like an Amazon, right? Or better than your normal stuff. And so we're getting better toilet paper pricing and paper towel pricing than an Amazon. And for those of you that are doing this as a business, when you're buying, especially if people have 5, 10, 15, 50, 500 units, you buy a lot of toilet paper and it's just a part of the business. And so to be able to save even 20% extra or something like that is a huge deal. How do we approach it? We want to make sure that the brand makes a ton of sense for the vacation rental industry. We really want to test the products, curate it, make sure it's good, or it has to be like a big brand name that we're familiar with or that we've used. And then that's coming from a lot of the times our members saying, hey, I'm really interested in this. And when we hear it over and over again, we'll go to that brand and make a deal.
Got it. So do you work with like big brands, let's say for toilet paper? I don't know. What's a big toilet paper brand?
Cottonelle.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So the partnership that we're going to announce is actually with a company that distributes all of that stuff. So you'll be able to get Cottonelle, Clorox, Dawn, or if you want to buy generic toilet paper at even less, which is what a lot of like hotels do, you'll be able to buy that kind of stuff as well. And that's the kind of stuff that's really important to people, especially the ability to like put it on reorder and get it on a recurring basis and all that stuff.
I'm really excited about that one. When is it coming? Do you know? At the time of this recording, it's March 14th. By the time this recording is out, it's probably out.
It's probably going to be live, and we can get you on the pilot version if you want after this call, but it should be live by the time this goes live. We like to pilot the deals and make sure that they work before we launch them. It's in that phase. For
sure. So curious, do you have any statistics about how much money you've saved for short-term rental investors?
Oh man, tens of millions of dollars.
That's huge.
Tens of millions of dollars saved.
Wow. Let that sink in. That's a lot of money. That's awesome. So do you use HostGPO for your own stuff? Because I know you had a story like when you were doing the arbitrage, how you're stocking all the units, right? How did you? I use HostGPO for all of my and it's important to try it and see what's working. And if I have a frustration or something like that, or any of our members do, honestly, the whole HostGPO team, everybody at HostGPO, we're also hosts. A lot of the people on our team are people that signed up to use HostGPO and we're like, this is cool. Can I come work with you and help get other people onto our platform? And we were like, yeah, absolutely. And we have a separate, on our team Slack where we're talking about hosting stuff all the time. And I use HostGPO for my own properties. And like, just like you, if I was setting up a new home, I would use the design program. I think it's a great option to have an interior designer do all that interior design for free is pretty cool. Yeah. Let's talk about the design program. I do think that was something that I used specifically and it made things so much easier. So what's the design program look like? Yeah, so we have an interior design program with Williams-Sonoma. So it's West Elm, Pottery Barn, Williams-Sonoma, Rejuvenation, all those brands included. And essentially the way that it works is if you're setting up a new home, you can get the interior design done for you for free. And they will choose and mix and match from all those brands, including from the HostGPO West Elm collection of the extra discounted items, and choose the items that make sense for whatever design you're going for. And then they will manage the shipping timelines, installation, and delivery for you, all consolidated of those items. And so what most people end up doing, and you can talk about your experience with it, is they get the designer to do the floor plans, the layouts, then they buy all their heavy furniture, like the things that are going to get used extra.
the couches, the coffee tables, all the things you want to buy contract grade as opposed to regular, right? They're going to buy all of that through the West Elms and Pottery Barns. And then your mattresses, your linens, your soaps and shampoos, you're going to get from Standard Textile, Helix, Public Goods, etc., because those are better quality products. And nobody's buying, not a lot of people, I should say, are buying like flax linen sheets from Pottery Barn for their vacation rental property. That's just not a great use of funds. Whereas, the way the interior design program works is they'll do the layout, they'll help you select the items, they'll manage the timeline, the installation, the delivery, and then usually you get the rest of the HostGPO items, try to ship them so that they arrive at the same time. But that's generally how the program works. What was your experience like? I think the property you have, it's in Joshua Tree, that house, or Palm Springs?
Yeah. So I did it on 2 properties in Joshua or Yucca Valley. So it's adjacent to Joshua Tree, and it turned out really well. I like the simplicity of it. It was really easy because what we did was we were doing flips too. So we were basically buying them and then they're burrs. We refied and kept them instead. But we were buying these ugly homes and they need a lot of work, but they were under market value, and we would put a lot of money into it. And then to get it to ready to a short-term rental basis, we'd have the designer. But the designer would come in prior to, we would do demo, we would get everything out of there, and it would just like blank canvas, and the designer would go in there and just, this is what we're choosing.
Yep.
Off of that, it was like a multi-step process. Then he could start ordering. We're doing the rehab, so it takes a little bit of time. It's just like perfect timing. Everything shows up in the warehouse. Then we ship it out on a specific day, and it's crazy. I like came in, and it's like everything's set up within an hour. It's so quick. Like they all just come. These 3 people I swear there's like a certification for furniture assembly or whatever, because the 2 dudes just knocked it all out like within an hour. It was nuts. And everything was in the rugs. It was like a full house. I'm like, oh dang. And from there we show the design to a decor person. And so all the decor stuff comes, and then they do all the decor. So it was just such a easy assembly line, essentially.
It's meant to save time. And that part you're talking about, the installation and like how these guys build it so fast, it's crazy because when setting up my units, I made a lot of mistakes. I went to a flea market one time and bought 2 truckloads worth of furniture, like literally like long 20-foot trucks worth of furniture. I did a 48 shopping cart IKEA checkout before. Like, I've spent time building furniture, having my team build furniture. You don't think about the cost of that time, and it's just worth it to pay for flat rate installation and delivery, especially when somebody's going to warehouse all the big furniture pieces for you and install it in a couple hours all at one day.
Yeah, 100%. And like my thing ended up being like 17,000 or something like that. And that's before the discounts. So you take the discounts into account and you pay it was 10%, I think. 10% at the time, it was 10% of
for the delivery and installation. Yeah.
So
they do.
Including delivery and the free design. So it was like all of that incorporated was 10%. Paid that. And then, for 1,700, and I saved money too. So I got with HostGPO. So I just got a bang for the buck. So it was just super easy for me. Look, I don't think it might not be for everybody, but also that was like, it was okay for what we did. And we made the units really nice. But like for Joshua Tree, what we do now is we just use a designer. And then designer, it's crazy because HostGPO designers will have discounts. But HostGPO has discounts too. So what we'll do is we'll just lay it all out and say, okay, what are your better discounts and what better discounts we have with HostGPO? And then we'll just kind of order.
It's always HostGPO unless we don't partner with the brand, because all of our discounts are always better than the design discounts. You know, pretty much
like article. We had better article discounts. We had better West Elm discounts.
For sure.
We ordered a lot of article stuff because we just needed the fast turnaround. But it was just like, it was nice. It saved a lot of money, especially because we have 8 properties out there. So it's for us, and they're big houses. These are big projects. We're spending a lot of money on furniture, like over $100,000 sometimes. So having any kind of discount is like already, the steeper, the better, obviously.
For sure.
But
it's that's why we do it. We try to make it easy, and we try to make it so that even if you have a designer or whatever, that their trade discounts are upgraded, or you're working on an upgraded program. The vacation rental industry is a real powerhouse right now, and we're really growing so quickly, and the ability to access this kind of stuff is super important.
Yeah. And tell me what you think, but I think that you should differentiate these days, and you can't go to, I mean, you can, but if you do everything on Facebook Marketplace, it's not going to look good. Like you have
No,
to get
you have to
high
design
quality
it.
stuff.
You
Yeah,
have to
and
design it.
exactly. And it
Those
has to
days
be
are
well done.
over. Those
Mhm.
days are over. Those days left. Those days left pre-COVID, but really post since COVID, like that whole just throw whatever you want into the unit and try to charge the lowest rate is just, that doesn't work anymore, because those units just get booked zero amount of the time, which is right, especially in a market like Joshua Tree, which is arguably the most design centric market that there is.
Couldn't agree more.
People really go to Joshua Tree to take pictures
Yeah.
and to have that experience of what the Airbnb background when you go to the Airbnb website looks like. And all that stuff is like West Elm article, Society 6, like it's all those brands, and they want to see that furniture. They might not notice where your toaster's from, but like they want to notice like the furniture, the design, the aesthetic, like that kind of stuff is important.
100%. Couldn't agree more. Jeff, what's the future look like for HostGPO, for you, for everybody, for the short-term rental industry? I just wanted to ask.
Yeah, I know. I think that there's a lot coming down the pipeline for HostGPO. One of the things is we just launched our services marketplace. So it's great for like people that are getting started, or you're trying to figure out like pricing software to use, or if you like want to connect on StayFi, we have like discounts with those types of companies too. We're trying to make HostGPO more of like a one-stop shop for also the software solutions that you need in the vacation rental space. So that's a new thing that we just launched. Toilet paper, it's coming. I never thought I'd talk about toilet paper so much in my whole life. I honestly should probably talk about paper towels more, because I think it's less offensive, but paper goods, that's a big one for us. We're really excited to launch that soon. And then HostGPO will keep growing. We're talking to a lot of new brands about bringing them on to expand the categories that we're in.
Are short-term rentals growing? Do you think short-term rentals are going up, or do you think it's slowing down? Airbnb bust?
Oh, no, they're not going to bust it. It's going to be look, it might not be growing at the rate that it was growing before, but it's not dropping. And we're at pre-pandemic levels right now, which is probably will there be a potential small supply contraction? Yes. Will the demand decrease? Probably not. And the market will balance out a little bit. I think that there's probably not going to be as many people as aggressively opening new units, but I think annual vacation rental churn is like 20% of units turnover every year anyways. So it's, yeah, that's going to happen. And maybe it's slightly higher, maybe 25% of units turnover, but that's pretty normal. And I think that the industry will stay strong. I think travel will stay strong this year. And I don't really think that there's a giant bust coming. But famous last words, if there is, everybody can throw this one back in my face. But I think it'll be fine. I think people just need to stay smart. And I think there's a lot of deals that make more sense now than they did before. Interest rates are super high. Lease arbitrage becomes more attractive. Co-hosting in a potentially volatile market is a really stable way to learn how to do this. I think there's a lot of people running out there and signing leases and buying properties and underwriting them to be vacation rental specific returns. And that's not a great idea and not a sound business advice, especially if you've never done this before. There's a lot of learning curves that go into this. When you think about how many hours of education you need to put into learning what property management software is, what it does, how a channel manager works, potential places you can list, forget about just buying for your vacation rental unit, just using HostGPO, right? Finding out about HostGPO, then using it. We're trying to solve and shorten the timelines, but I think something like 600 different items go into a home to set it up. And then it's like, just to set up a home can take, between that purchasing and figuring out what to buy, just that part alone can take 150 hours. And so HostGPO tries to save you time there. But when you think about all of factor it in, I wouldn't say the time. There was a time in 2015, 14, 15, where it didn't matter. You could overpay on a unit and you were going to crush, and you ended up crushing. That happened again for a brief minute in the middle of the pandemic, where it was like everything was on fire and you couldn't miss. But the industry itself isn't going anywhere. It's just leveling out and staying strong. It's just a matter of, you can't put slapshot units together.
I agree. You got to be in the top 10%, getting competitive. That's how you have to operate. Yeah.
You definitely can't be in the bottom 50%. The top 10% is an aim. Bottom 50%, like you're in weak territory. Bottom 20%, like you're going to get wiped out. It's a matter of trying to do the right things to get there and being smart about it.
No, for sure. And where do you see yourself in the next like 5-10 years? What are you focusing on?
Yeah, HostGPO, I think it has
Baby.
it has a long road ahead of it. And for the members that have been with us that are listening, who've been with us for a couple of years, or you were one of our earlier ish members a year plus ago, you've seen the product evolve over time. HostGPO used to be a site where you logged in if you were a member and knew about it and typed in the SKUs for what you wanted and uploaded the SKUs of the items, right? Like I think you were probably ordering when it was back like that. And
I remember.
everything's getting easier and the deals are getting better and we're bringing on more vendors as the community grows. I'm really excited for the next 5 years to build out what we have and to grow the community and to elevate vacation rental listings in general and elevate this industry in general to better quality, better design, better physical products. I think that by everybody making this big move together, right, as a community, if we all decide, hey, these are the types of things, these are the types of vacation rentals we want to set up, what that's going to mean is that more people are going to trust vacation rentals, right? When they go to check into a rental and they see the table and it looks like the one behind me right now, and they see that on the listing, if they show up at the listing and the corners are peeling off because it's a piece of sticker from an Amazon coffee table that you bought that's peeling off, right? Like that kind of stuff overall like starts to nip away at like people's desire to spend for vacation rentals or consider it to be an alternative to hotels, right? When you think about hotels, one of the main reasons people want to go and stay in hotels because they want consistency, they believe in the brand, and they know what they're going to get. And vacation rentals, you have this big kind of question mark. And so my big vision for this industry is to keep growing HostGPO to help bring better quality products down to a price point where they're really accessible to everybody, and to help elevate the overall listing quality so that when people stay in a unit, they trust vacation rentals moving forwards. And overall, people are willing to pay more, ADRs go up. That's my vision for the next couple of years. And HostGPO will break into more categories too and bring in more vendors. And I'm really excited about that.
And I couldn't agree with you more on the consistency aspect, which is part of the reason why I want to brand the property management company that we're doing, in the sense that we have a high level of like a high tier, right? Like we don't take anybody on. We take specific properties on that are high level to basically streamline that experience as much as possible within our control. So yeah, I totally agree with you that. And I think people want that consistency. So just like a Marriott or a Hyatt.
For sure.
Yeah.
We preach that all day. And we help educate our members during their onboarding calls or if they want help or anything like that on what to buy, because just like you for your properties, right? Like you're redoing your linen program and buying through a standard textile, like that's going to do a couple things. One, it's going to give you quality linens at a low price. But two, if that brand that you used to buy on Amazon goes away or changes, or if you can't find that sheet that you had at Target because now it's the new line of whatever and it looks different, right? What you're going to end up with is buying things because they're there, and you end up with like a cream pillowcase with a white duvet cover and an off-white and a gray towel, and all of a sudden you've got like a mismatched unit that doesn't look professional, right? It doesn't look so. Standard textile is great because you're going to keep ordering the same stuff over and over again. It's always in stock. It's a company that's been around for 80 years or 100 years, something crazy like that, and that's what they're there for, to give you quality, to not have it be like you're going on to Amazon. And even if you price compare one day and we're the same price, you might go on to Amazon the next day and all of a sudden that same thing's $20 more or $10 more or whatever it is, because the pricing goes up and down, right? This is what a GPO does. We like regulate the pricing, get you consistent products at great quality, low pricing.
That's
start
good
those
for
standards.
That's good for accounting as well, right? If you know what your costs are going to be every month, because it's more consistent. So consistency with business, streamlining in business is actually really good, because consistency gives you a better outlook into the future and knowing like what your expenses are and whatnot.
100%.
Really cool.
And that's how we treat all of our members. They're growing their businesses and we want to help people streamline their businesses and save them time and money, because profitability, right? That's what everybody's looking for. Everybody wants to relax and have some passive income or just enjoy life. And to do that, you got to make some money, and profitability is that there's two variables in that equation. There's how much money you're making, which you can increase by having a nicer unit or charging more or all these other price optimization things. But then there's also lowering your expenses, right? Lowering your expenses also contributes to profitability. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to help people out and give people that peace of mind that they know that they're paying the right price for things and that they're getting the right quality stuff.
Cool. Awesome, man. Yeah, I'm curious. I'm gonna jump into a few last questions.
Sure.
What book do you recommend for the listeners? It doesn't have to be real estate related.
Oh, I definitely recommend. I like Atomic Habits. I think that's a great book.
I love that.
For people who are interested in productivity. Also a big fan of the Four Agreements for people that are
Mm.
interested in being good people and understanding people. I think that's a nice quick
I'm
read.
not interested in that at all, Jeff. So I don't know why you brought that up.
Yeah.
I don't
Sorry.
think any of the people listening to this podcast really want to become better people. So
Yeah. All right. So maybe not. But no, that's a nice one too. I'm a big fan of that.
that's awesome, man. And I'm gonna give you one question that's because I give one question that's like I think of it on the spot, and it's for every person that's going to challenge them. So for you, I want to dive in to we have a new unit. Okay. This unit has to be designed for Jeff as a consumer. Like Jeff wants to stay here in this place and wants to make it feel homey. Yeah. Right. What using HostGPO, what are you ordering from which place? Like couch from article, couch from like where are you ordering everything? What would you choose for your style? What would I want to stay in? Yes. So I've stayed in a rental actually in Joshua Tree that was really close to my aesthetic. And it was a kind of like boho chic, but like everything was like very like plush, like really shag rugs, like velvety, like couches, and all of the art was old, like musicians and record albums, but it wasn't like records hung on the wall. It was like concert posters and stuff like that, but it was like really tastefully done. Like it didn't feel like a dorm, like it felt very curated in that way. And then for me personally, I'm a big cook. I love food and I love cooking. And so this house was amazing because it had a chef's kitchen. And that's different than a normally stocked kitchen. And look, this was a luxury home for sure, but it had all the things that I wanted. And we weren't planning on cooking as elaborate of a dinner. Like we were probably planning on just cooking as a group of friends. But when we got there, it was like, oh, there's like a blender and there's all of these fancy pots and pans and there's a whole knife set and there's all these spices already that are here. And when we went to the market after we got there, we ended up like knowing that we had all this equipment back at the house, like a real like beautiful kitchen. And we ended up cooking like a great, now for me, I like look for those things. I'm going out, I'm staying in an Airbnb tomorrow. I'm staying in another one in 2-3 weeks. And part of the reasons why I chose these was because like the kitchens are great. And because like the art feels like somewhere I want to be around and relax. That's awesome. I was meeting up with an architect for our new property and total wizard. I hope that things work out with him and us. But the way he described an experience of walking in and how he wanted the striking elements plus the calming effect, that's done through design. And it's insane how important design is. So tell me, do you remember what the furniture was, where it was from, or
there was definitely some West Elm stuff in there. I remember the pots and pans were like all stainless steel. I remember they had a legitimate blender that wasn't like a small, tiny little blender. They had a really nice coffee machine that we used in the morning. It was like some sort of fancy, like giant cup, like grinds in the morning. Like
the fact that you remember that.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like we rehearsed this. You remember specifically how the blender was and how the room was and all the aesthetics. Yeah, you work with the furniture all day, but like at the same time, that's one of those things where a guest comes in, they notice those things because they care and it makes the experience better.
And I'm probably in some ways the worst guest because I show up and I'm like, I've set up over 250 vacation rental homes myself. I'm like the guest that runs in and like, if I'm in the kitchen, like I'm opening every drawer just because I want to see what other people are putting in. This house was really amazing. And it just had everything. It had everything. And I think for me, what do I look for in a new home that's getting set up? It's definitely that kind of stuff. I think there's probably another conversation we can have another time, which is what do I look for in a listing if I decide I'm going to book it or not, which I think for people that have been in the industry, we all look for very different things. And the criteria for what it takes for me to book a vacation rental after you see how the sausage is made in some units, it takes a lot.
That's awesome. Yeah, we'll save that on that cliffhanger.
All right.
And how can people reach you if people want to talk to you?
Yeah, you can go to hostgpo.com. There's a chat there. You can always shoot me an email. I'm just Jeff at HostGPO. So feel free to reach out to me, sign up there. You can talk to somebody from our team. Our onboarding process is really cool because they actually walk you through everything, get you sent samples of stuff. If you want to try out
free stuff, guys.
Free stuff. Yeah. Shout out free stuff. So that's a really nice process. Definitely encourage it. There's a live chat on there if you have questions. And Patrick, you should leave your referral link somewhere around here. It's either below or above, or click this.
You have to give that to me because I don't know. I think you gave it to me at one point, but I don't really care. I just want people to have the experience. And if you just drop Patrick podcast, and I'm cool with that. I just want Jeff to know where it's coming from, and it's just interesting to me for me to see. But other than that, I'm not too pressed. I think it's a great product, and that's why I have had you on. I think it's super valuable for people to know where to get crazy discounts, and it makes logical.
Cool, man. I appreciate it, and appreciate you've been a member for over a year, and excited to welcome more people into our community, and excited to let you know what's coming up next.
Yeah, 100%. The more people that, if this isn't the sign, I think, can you maybe offer something to the listeners, maybe a free trial or something like that?
We have a free trial. It's 3 months free. So that's what we have going on right now.
You should have said it was special just for Patrick Real Estate Show, but now you ruined it. Now you're making me look bad. Now it's like,
we have a special trial right now for 3 months. And I'm announcing that 3-month trial right now also.
Wow.
So there you go. But
it's all over the place. It's not just here, but I just let me feel special for a second. Okay. Just my listeners, I work hard for this, and they appreciate it, and I love them for it. So I want to give back to them. So
I hear
yeah.
But
so
it's
3-month free trial.
There's nothing to give back when it's already free. So sign up for 3 months, try it out, and let us know what you think.
Cool.
We're here. We make all of our changes based on our community's feedback. When we add features and functionalities and things and new bells and whistles on the website, it's because that's what people are asking for. Yeah, let us know.
And that's a wrap. Thank you for listening to the Patrick Real Estate Show. If you found this episode helpful, please give us a follow and leave us a 5-star review. Your support truly means a lot. And connect with Patrick in the show notes below. Until next time.